Arabs and the Golden Age of Islam, from Baghdad to Al-Andalus. The stars shone brightly over the desert, but the brightest lights of the medieval world burned not in the sky, but in the great cities of the Islamic world. What if I told you that the modern world, from algebra to hospitals, owes much of its genius to the scholars, poets, and explorers who thrived during the Golden Age of Islam? Prepare to journey through time, from the vibrant markets of Baghdad to the golden palaces of Cordoba, and discover how the Arab world became the cradle of knowledge and culture. Chapter 1. The Dawn of a Civilization. The tale of the Arab world stretches far beyond the rise of Islam, rooted in the expansive deserts of the Arabian Peninsula. Long before the birth of the Prophet Muhammad, Bedouin tribes traversed the arid sands, their camels laden with precious goods such as silk, spices, and incense. These nomadic people, renowned for their storytelling and poetry, connected distant lands through bustling trade routes. Merchants carried not only material wealth but also ideas, facilitating cultural exchanges that spanned continents. By the time the 7th century unfolded, a monumental shift was taking place. The emergence of Islam would forever alter the trajectory of this ancient region. By the end of the 8th century, the Islamic Caliphate had expanded dramatically, stretching from the distant Indus River in the east to the shores of the Atlantic Ocean in the west. This vast empire became a cradle of knowledge and innovation. Scholars, philosophers, and scientists flourished in cities like Baghdad, which was established as the heart of the Abbasid Caliphate. Here, the famous House of Wisdom became a beacon of intellectual exchange. Arabic scholars translated Greek, Persian, and Indian texts, preserving and expanding upon the knowledge of antiquity. In the fields of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine, they laid the foundations for a future of discovery. It was within this rich cultural environment that Arab scholars like Al-Khwarizmi, whose name would be immortalized in the term algebra, crafted the mathematical principles that would later shape Western science. Did you know that the numbers we now call Arabic numerals were actually borrowed from India? Despite the misconception, these digits, 0, 1, 2, 3, and so on, first appeared in Indian manuscripts long before they made their way into the Islamic world. The brilliant Arab mathematicians, particularly Al-Khwarizmi, played a crucial role in transmitting this system to Europe. Without their efforts, our modern system of mathematics might never have been the same. Chapter 2. The House of Wisdom. In the early 9th century, the city of Baghdad flourished under the rule of the Abbasid Caliphate, with Harun al-Rashid leading the charge into a golden age of knowledge and culture. His son, Caliph al-Ma'mun, would go on to establish the legendary House of Wisdom Bayt al-Hikmah in the heart of Baghdad, turning the city into an unparalleled hub of intellectual activity. Scholars from all corners of the world, Arabs, Persians, Jews, Christians, and even Hindus, came together to preserve and translate the wisdom of ancient civilizations, creating a vibrant intellectual exchange. The House of Wisdom became a symbol of cross-cultural collaboration, where knowledge was not just preserved but expanded upon. A truly captivating fact is that the first monumental project undertaken at the House of Wisdom was the translation of the ancient Greek astronomical work, Ptolemy Almagest. This epic translation was instrumental in shaping the future of Islamic astronomy and mathematics. But it wasn't just about translation, it was about innovation. One of the most renowned scholars to emerge from this intellectual haven was Al-Khwarizmi, whose groundbreaking work in mathematics led to the introduction of algorithms, a term that, to this day, carries his name. His contributions laid the groundwork for the mathematical advancements of the medieval world and continue to influence modern science. The astronomers at the House of Wisdom were no less extraordinary. Their skill in observational astronomy was so precise that they calculated the Earth's circumference with incredible accuracy, an achievement that was only a few hundred kilometers off from today's satellite measurements. Using nothing more than sticks, shadows, and complex mathematical formulas, they pushed the boundaries of what was thought possible in the ancient world. The House of Wisdom was not just a library or a place of learning. It was a beacon of scientific and intellectual exploration that would leave an indelible mark on the future of humanity. Chapter 3. Medicine and the Healing Arts. During the Golden Age of Islam, the Islamic world became a center of scientific discovery and intellectual flourishing. Cities like Baghdad and Cordoba were buzzing with scholars, and medicine became a crucial focus of this intellectual renaissance. Al-Razi, one of the most influential figures in early Islamic medicine, made groundbreaking contributions to the understanding of diseases. His writings on smallpox and measles were revolutionary, offering detailed insights into diagnosis and treatment. His book, Kitab al-Hawi, was considered a major reference in both the East and West, cementing his legacy as one of the greatest physicians of the time. Ibn Sina, or Avicenna, took these advancements even further. His monumental work, The Canon of Medicine, was an encyclopedia that systematically compiled the knowledge of medicine from the Greeks, Persians, and Indians, while adding his own original contributions. His book became a cornerstone of medical education in Europe, where it was used as a textbook for centuries. What's more, Islamic physicians didn't just treat physical ailments, they understood the importance of mental health and were among the first to recognize that the mind and body were interconnected in the healing process. The concept of healthcare was also revolutionized during this period. The Islamic world pioneered the establishment of hospitals with specialized wards and facilities for teaching, a model that we recognize today. These hospitals, known as Bimaristans, were places not just for the sick but also centers of learning. In Cairo, the Al-Mansuri Hospital set a precedent by treating patients regardless of their social status or financial means, embodying the Islamic ideals of charity and equality. The word hospital itself comes from the Arabic Bimaristan, reflecting the deep roots of healthcare in the Islamic tradition. This focus on public health and medicine laid the foundation for modern hospitals across the world. Chapter 4. The Alchemy of Words and Knowledge. The Golden Age of Islam, which spanned roughly from the 8th to the 13th century, was a period of intellectual flourishing and artistic brilliance that shaped the course of history. This era saw the fusion of cultures from the vast Arab Empire, stretching from the great city of Baghdad to the fertile lands of Al-Andalus in the west. In the vibrant intellectual centers of Baghdad, scholars gathered in the House of Wisdom, a grand library and academy, where they translated and expanded upon the knowledge of ancient civilizations. It was here that the works of Greek philosophers such as Aristotle and Plato found new life, as Arab scholars like Al-Farabi meticulously preserved their teachings, making them accessible to future generations. Al-Farabi, often referred to as the second teacher, built upon Aristotle's philosophy and integrated it with Islamic thought, influencing scholars for centuries to come. While philosophy and science thrived, the arts also flourished. The Arab world became a nexus of creativity, where calligraphy, architecture, and literature reached unparalleled heights. In Spain, under the rule of the Umayyads in Al-Andalus, a rich cultural exchange occurred between the Muslims, Christians, and Jews, giving rise to stunning architectural masterpieces like the Alhambra. But perhaps one of the most enduring legacies of this period is the literary collection known as 1001 Nights. A rich tapestry of stories woven from Persian, Indian, and Arabian folklore, it captured the imaginations of audiences for centuries. The tales, which included timeless characters like Aladdin and Sinbad the Sailor, were a window into the mysterious and exotic East. These stories traveled westward, sparking fascination with the cultures of the Arab world and influencing Western literature for generations. As scholars like Ibn Rushd Averroes delved deeper into Greek philosophy, they became intellectual bridges, connecting the classical world to the Renaissance and beyond. Through these scholars' efforts, the profound wisdom of the ancients was preserved, transformed, and shared with the world, cementing the Golden Age of Islam as a pivotal moment in history. Chapter 5. From the Sands to the Stars, Advancements in Astronomy and Navigation. The Islamic world during the Golden Age was a hub of scientific discovery, with astronomers pushing the boundaries of what was known about the universe. Al-Biruni, a brilliant scholar, revolutionized the understanding of the Earth. He conducted extensive studies and calculated the Earth's radius with remarkable precision, using mathematical principles that were centuries ahead of his time. His work laid the foundation for modern geography, and he even attempted to determine the Earth's circumference using triangulation, an advanced technique that would later be used for navigation. Meanwhile, al-Zarqali, also known as Arzachel in the West, made significant strides in the field of astronomy. His Toledo tables, an astronomical resource, became an essential tool for European navigators during the Age of Exploration. These tables provided detailed measurements of the positions of celestial bodies, enabling sailors to chart their courses more accurately. It is said that without these tables, the voyages that connected distant parts of the world during the Renaissance might not have been as successful. A curious fact: the term algorithm derives from the name of Al-Khwarizmi, a prominent mathematician whose work on algebra and arithmetic laid the foundation for modern computing. His systematic approach to solving mathematical problems would shape not only the future of mathematics but also the digital world we live in today. Chapter 6. The Jewel of Al-Andalus. No story of the Golden Age of Islam would be complete without mentioning Al-Andalus, Muslim Spain. The city of Córdoba, with its magnificent Great Mosque, became a beacon of learning and culture, drawing scholars and artists from all corners of the Islamic world. It stood as a symbol of sophistication and progress, where architecture, art, science, and philosophy flourished together. By the 10th century, Córdoba was the largest city in Europe, with a population that far surpassed even that of Paris or London. The streets were lined with lamps, glowing softly through the night, casting a warm light over public baths and bustling marketplaces. Libraries, brimming with hundreds of thousands of books, were hubs for intellectual exchange, making the city one of the most advanced centers of knowledge in the world. In this vibrant city, the polymath al-Zahrawi, known as the father of modern surgery, made significant strides in the field of medicine. His monumental work, Kitab al-Tashrif, was a comprehensive medical encyclopedia that not only described the tools and techniques used in surgery but also set the foundation for medical practices that lasted for centuries. Among his many contributions, al-Zahrawi introduced the use of catgut for internal stitches, a technique that remains vital in modern surgery. His innovations and teachings influenced medical practices far beyond the borders of Al-Andalus, with scholars in both the Islamic world and Europe continuing to study his works long after his time. Chapter 7. The End of an Era, the Legacy Lives On. By the end of the 15th century, the magnificent Golden Age of the Islamic world began to fade. The Mongol invasion in the 13th century, a brutal and catastrophic event, shattered the once mighty empire. In the year 1258, the Mongols stormed Baghdad, the intellectual heart of the Islamic world, destroying its libraries, homes, and monuments. The fall of Baghdad was a symbol of the decline of a civilization that had long been a beacon of knowledge and progress. Meanwhile, the Reconquista in Spain reached its final chapter in 1492, as the last Muslim stronghold, Granada, fell to the Catholic monarchs. This marked the end of Muslim rule in the Iberian Peninsula, but it also paved the way for the flowering of new ideas in Europe. Despite these dark times, the legacy of the Golden Age continued to ripple through the centuries. The brilliant works of Arab scholars, scientists, and philosophers had already found their way into Europe's hands, fueling the Renaissance. Figures like Ibn Sina, al-Farabi, and al-Razi had preserved and expanded upon the knowledge of the ancient Greeks, adding their own insights into medicine, mathematics, astronomy, and more. The numbers we use today, the algorithms that power modern technology, and even the very hospitals in our cities owe a debt to the Islamic scholars of that era. Their innovations in algebra, trigonometry, and optics laid the groundwork for much of the scientific revolution that followed. So, the next time you solve an algebraic equation or rely on a GPS to navigate your way, remember that these tools are steeped in the brilliance of minds from the deserts of Arabia to the palaces of Al-Andalus. The Golden Age of Islam teaches us that knowledge has no boundaries and that the pursuit of understanding is timeless. It illuminates the world in ways that continue to inspire and shape our future, reminding us of the enduring power of learning and discovery. And that's it, thanks for watching. If you enjoy exploring historical worlds, be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on more exciting stories.